This is Tools of Fortune. We're doing readings on the real life tarot deck. This is my very first live stream on this channel. I just hit 50 subs this week. And so we'll just do some pre-canned questions right now that no one is here. And so let's just, I got the first question here. My first question I want to ask, and this is more of a serious question, and the question is what is America dreaming about right now? What is America dreaming about right now? What is America dreaming about right now? We will not be doing reversals. Though there are reversal cards in here, we'll not be reading reversals. Maybe someday I will be reading reversals. For the rest of this month, I will be reading from this deck. So one more shuffle. Let's cut the deck. And what is America dreaming about right now? Let's give it 7 cards, because today is the 7th day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is the Dreams of America, Tools of Fortune. Maybe it's a comedy reading. Maybe it's a serious reading, because this deck does both. So the first card is the remote control. Someone else is pushing. So the dream that America is having right now is that a remote control. There is this remote control which is being controlled by toddlers, is pushing the buttons, pushing toys around. America is having a dream of being pushed around by toddlers. Toddlers who are smoking weed off the weed tree. Welcome, Mama Sushi. Welcome to Tools of Fortune, my very first live stream on this channel. And the question I'm asking is, what is America dreaming about, the whole country? What is America dreaming about? When these babies, these toddlers are sitting around smoking weed off the weed tree. Oh, that's interesting. Also in this dream, there's this guy with a phone deleting stuff. Huh. That's interesting. That's like parts of America's memories are being deleted. So what we have is a couple different things going on. First is there's this remote control controlled by toddlers who are smoking the leaves of the weed tree. And then we have this situation where things in this dream are being deleted. Images, sounds. And let's see what those images are. And then another thing, maybe they're being deleted because in this dream, someone is drinking the shroom tea. And got these little stickers here with the heart on it, because it's all about love. Love for the microdoser. In this dream, the person doing the deleting it's another image, high on shrooms. All right. Then what we also have is this LARPer. So America is wandering around with the sword in one hand and the phone in the other, checking the text messages, dreaming about what could be, dreaming about some guy just having a good time all by themselves. A guy isolated all by himself. And then the last dream image is of the vomiting Cupid. The vomiting Cupid. So, love once bit America, but in America's dream, Cupid, it went behind a tree to puke up all that love. It must be that love that they've been dosing over here. Okay, so that's that question. What is America dreaming about? What is America dreaming about? We might actually try to get a different answer here and ask. And I'm going to ask my crossword tarot, my crossword oracle. What is America dreaming about? What is America dreaming about? What is America dreaming about right now? What is America dreaming about? And thank you for all those who just popped in for even a moment on my first live stream on this channel, Tools of Fortune. So I'm asking my crossword oracle, what is America dreaming about right now? I know things are kind of odd with the news that many of us may have heard about today. What is America dreaming about? This is the real America, the America that is America, the we, the people, the collective America, which starts with me and extends to you and extends to everyone else here in our country. America, 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 what are you dreaming about right now? The number 28. 2 is about balance. 8 is about abundance. 8 is, and together, 2 plus 8 equals 10. 1 is a new beginning, and 0 is a number that means infinity. So, America is dreaming about a rebirth. America is dreaming about a rebirth right now. To be born again. America dreams on the edge of reality. Red, blue, yellow, blended together, make up the whole of America. America is on the edge, dreaming in color, dreaming electric dreams. Americans should trust one another. This dream is about love. It's about respect. America is dreaming in colors, dreaming on the edge of reality, skating on thin ice. America is dreaming about a duplex where half the country people live on one side, but their people are just close neighbors in the duplex. In the duplex, people living side by side, paying their rent, trusting one another, trusting that they will take care of each other in times of need. And so America is dreaming on the edge of reality right now, skating on thin ice, rowing a boat up the stream. Electric blue colors, colors, colors surround and infiltrate this dream. All right, that's what I got from the from that. That is the Crosswords Oracle. Crosswords Oracle. So we're going to go on and ask the real life tarot another question. We're just going to probably just be on here for a few more minutes. This is my very first one. It's more of a test live. I'll try on probably another time, maybe tomorrow afternoon after I finish my live on 999 show with Alexis Milner. So I'm going to ask the tarot. I'm going to ask the tarot, what card best represents my love life right now? What card best represents my love life right now? What card best represents my love life right now? I think we want to see how many cards we're going to draw. I think I'll use the dice to figure that out. So maybe if I use the dice, roll a dice, just one. One dice is fine. So we are going to let the dice decide how many cards we're going to draw to see what my love life is like right now. So it's going to draw two cards. Two cards will represent my love life. We're going to do the one on the top and the one on the bottom. And you saw that, did you? These are pre-shuffled deck. This is not no trickery going on here. Uh-oh. So, my love life is one of anxiety, nail biting, because right now I'm at this bar in Danny's restaurant, having a drink with a lady in the red dress, talking to the bartender, talking to no one in particular, trying to get the attention of this lady, but she don't seem to be hearing anything right now because I'm so anxious about the situation. I think we need another card. Uh-oh, the devil stepped in. Ha 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 ha, the devil says. Ha 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 ha. I'm gonna go steal this lady. You don't got what it takes. You ain't got what it takes, buddy. Ha 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 ha. All right. I don't know. Maybe that wasn't very funny. Okay. We'll try another one. How about we just try that question again? We're going to draw how many cards we're going to draw. And we're going to use this. We're going to draw 4 cards. And this is reading. This question is, what will your next lover be like? What will your next lover be like? In 4 cards. 4 cards of the real life tarot will describe what your next lover will be like. Let us see what your next lover will be right now. I asked these questions. I asked ChatGPT to form for me like half hour before I logged on to this live. So 4 cards to describe what your next lover will be like. Okay. We are done shuffling. let's do one riffle shuffle here, because these are all upright cards only. This is the Real Life Tarot. These cards shuffle really nice. This is like my second most expensive deck of cards that I've ever bought. Worth every single penny. Hello, new score. Yeah, welcome. Yeah, so this is my very first live stream on this channel. I just got live streaming privileges a couple days ago. Actually, yesterday, in fact. Oh, there's two of those cards just popped right out right now. So this is the Real Life Tarot deck. And if you want me to ask a question of it, and I'm kind of doing like funny readings, non-serious questions for tonight. Eventually, I might do serious questions. So those two just popped out. I'm going to do a card off the bottom, and this is what will your next lover be like? So, what jumped out at us was the vomiting Cupid. So, the vomiting Cupid is, which means that love, the Cupid that was sent out to arrange your love, got a little sick after biting you. And because of this, the game controller got disconnected. Now let's see what these other cards say. Let's see what they say. Oh, I always seem to draw this one, and if you go through some of my my canned videos, you might see how many times this. Yeah, you may ask me a question. Let me write that down for you. What question do you have? What is your question? Love yourself first. So we got the teaser. And, so what your next lover will be like. This part may not be such a great thing. We have the vomiting Cupid, the love bites, and that love, it's going to be that hard love, but then there's going to be a lot of games. And a bunch of stinging. And you got this taser here, so there's going to be a lot of stinging. Oh, what will be your next love? Okay, what will be your next love? Do you want me to ask? Okay, I will do that when I finish this as and you'll be going on a road trip. So that's what it means. So there'll be a bit of, so that's what this question. The vomited Cupid, a lot of games, a lot of stinging, some stinging, the taser, a lot of fighting, and then you're gonna feel like you just went on a trip. Okay, so for you, Nina, or not Nina, it's Nimira, I will be asking the Real Life Tarot, what will be your next love? Okay. All right. Okay. Let me just see. What will next love? Okay. What will Nina? What will her love be? What will her love be? Okay. I'm gonna roll the dice to see how many cards. I'm gonna give that with okay. So we got these cards that popped out, and so what you got to watch out for with this next love is that be kind of like this raggedy magician. The next love be like this raggedy magician who brings a stinking pile of trash around and brings that into your life. So you got to watch out for that. You got to watch out that because it'd be kind of tricky, and he's got things up their sleeves, and who's always there will be there to be kind of tricksy. I'm gonna put in a for the warning. So this is that. So you got to be careful of the jokey tarot of that. But let's go do another card. Now there's a tree that's in there, a tree, and I've been interpreting this tree like this is a weed tree. A weed tree. That's what I don't because this deck doesn't come with a guidebook. So it's really this is a tarot that is it can be used for all different kinds of readings, and it can be used as it was designed by a magician as sort of a game, a party game, but it can be used like an oracle deck, which is kind of that. So there is this your next love will like nature, tree on the weed tree, and then also kind of like a stale TV dinner or like a frozen dinner, a little bit bland. So what you got to watch out for is the tricksiness of it, and guy bringing too much of their own trash around into there. I'm gonna go ask my my crossword oracle here, and it just does to see if it can get some extra sort of anything extra, any extra messages. Okay, so what will Nina's next love be like? What will her 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 next love be like? And I'm going to draw this card here. I'm drawing blind. The first word that popped out at me is, so you've had enough painful relationships? Yeah. The official, but I will get your question next. And so the word that popped in my head first, love yourself first, is assume. And assume to not, whether you should not make assumptions about yourself, or maybe this person will be making assumptions about you. So you really should take that person for who they are. Really, really look at them and not spin stories about not to spin any stories in your head about who they should be. And because that's kind of what I'm getting here. Because when I think of what this is, you have a magician and you have a person that is tricksy or trying to pull fast ones and all that. And so you want to not make any assumptions. And also is to not make up stories about who this person is, because you just to take them for just who they are. and just get to know who they are. And so, because it's very easy to start when you first meet somebody and you get hopped up on all those all the infatuation chemicals, the love chemicals, and all that stuff. That it's really easy to it's really easy to get caught up in the situation that you're in, and one, to be obsessive, or or be to um, overlook overlook things in them. So you may see all the garbage that is in their life, but you overlook it, and then the next thing you know, you're back into having people playing games with you, or being kind of tricksy, or they just not who they seem to be. They end up turning in to be like this TV dinner here, a frozen dinner, and it's nothing real, no real pizzazz to them. So that's just what I can't answer that question of when it will happen, because it all depends. That's not a question I can answer. But the number on the back side of the card was 27, and maybe if that was a timeline, maybe that's like 27 months, or maybe 9 months, or something like that. I don't know. It's not soon, or it could be 27 days, or it's sometime tomorrow, sometime in the future, and don't really know when. All right, welcome. I'm going to go after that other question that the young man asked about. This was back a ways, and so official ambassador of the mulatto race. Okay, so is it ethical to train my dog to only hit the bush when you walk her? That's like a yes/no question. I am gonna treat that as a yes/no, and I'm gonna roll dice for that. Where's my diviner kit? We're gonna roll dice for that question, and what we're gonna get is an even number is yes, and an odd number is no. And so I have I have some dice. Some more dice. I gotta get my dice out of here. They're kind of lost in these Scrabble tiles, and I think I have 4 dice. I got a bunch of rubber bands. I think there's 5 dice. Okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna roll these dice for you, and to get you a yes/no answer, and we're gonna let the dice tell us what is yes and what is no. And so what I said was an odd number is no, and an even number is yes. And so what we'll do is I'll roll all these dice, and we'll add up the number, and we'll reduce it down to either a single digit or something like that. We'll reduce it down. So the question is it ethical to train a dog to only get hit on is it ethical to train your dog to pee on a bush on a walk? Okay, that's how I read the question. Is it ethical to train a dog to pee on versus on the grass. So is it ethical? And we're looking for a yes, no response. And so we have, the number is, we have 10, 12, 14, 1 plus 4 is 5. So the ethicalness of it is no. That's a no. This reduces down to the number 1, or so 5 and 6. That's 10 and 11, 12, 13, 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. And so that's an odd number. An odd number is no. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my first live stream reading on Tools of Fortune. And I just got my live stream privileges on like 24 hours ago. And this is my first live stream. And welcome very much for being here. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to go back down and do another. Would you have a question to ask this this tarot deck? It has, I can kind of go through, if you've never seen it, I'll go through some of the. You're welcome. You're welcome. So these are the kinds of what the cards look like in here. It has a lot of, and so this is a tarot deck that, well, it's not really a tarot deck. It's more like an oracle deck. And so it was invented. It was designed by a magician, like a card trick guy who does card tricks, and so the way I've seen this deck is, and the way I spun the story in my head on how to use this deck is that, so if you have let's say you throw a party or you're at a party and there's like one person knows you read tarot, but everyone else doesn't, and maybe it's your party or whatever, but you just don't feel like giving anybody a real tarot reading, so you whip out this tarot deck, and then it's like, well, yeah, sure, I'll give you a tarot reading, and because if you're at a party and you've had a drink or two, your connection to the cards is not that great, but you can always, but if you're a good storyteller, you can spin a story with these cards, and that's what the purpose of this deck is. But you can, because of the nature of cards, like tarot cards, if Spirit wants to speak through them, Spirit will speak through them. And so that's the nature of these cards, because it depends on what your intent is when you start. And since I came in with this wanting to be kind of do a light-hearted readings on my first now. However, I did do one serious reading, and so of that, I did a serious. Actually, I did more than one serious reading, because I read on America, the Dreams of America. What is the collective dreams of America right now? That was the first question I read on. So I'm going to read another question. If nobody has another question, I'm just going to read one more question, and then I'm going to close this stream out. But I will be back on often, sometimes at night, sometimes during the day. Is it nighttime for me? It's like almost 1 o'clock in the morning. And so, okay, the next question I'm going to ask, the next question I'm going to ask is, I'm going to use my Crossword Oracle to construct a question to ask the real life tarot. Okay, that's what we're going to do. I do have a whole list of questions, but I don't need to. Now, I can also do here some lucky lottery numbers. If you have, I have a deck here that I use to draw for Powerball and Mega Millions drawings. I can do some of that, or I can do that another day. So I'm going to use this, please, Crossword Oracle. I'm asking for a question to ask the real life question. Please direct me to a question to ask. And the number is 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. And the question, hog. Okay. The question is, welcome. The question is, what does the hog do to amuse itself? And so I'm just going to write that down. What does the hog do to amuse itself? What does the hog... Welcome. Yeah, you may ask a question. We'll ask this question next. So what question do you have? You like number 7? Okay. All right. Thank you for subscribing. And so what is your question? So formulate your question, and I will ask my real life tarot would you like move on? Okay. For Cat. Okay. Okay. So should you... Okay, so you don't know what to do. Should you just move on? Okay. All right. I'm gonna ask. I want to see what kind of insight I can get from my missile from here. So, Spirit, what should she move on or stay in her relationship? Should she move on? Okay. So what I'm getting here is, what I get here is that it's like it's like you're on a little boat and the waves are crashing around the boat, and you're here and you're just barely holding on. You're just barely holding on, and you got all this energy around you. And so you're just in this boat, and this is like there's all this energy that is surrounding you, and you're just kind of being buffeted by the boat. But now, should you move on? I'm gonna ask Mike. What should she do? Move on or stay? Stay or move on? Stay or move on? Okay. Detour. unsettle, what you should do. Watch and see. You need to watch and see. You need to look out afar. I'm saying that you should stay put for right now. Kind of, because in one sense, the number 5, the number 5 is a number about change, and probably change is something that's going to happen here. The number 1 is about new beginnings. And so in one sense, just this number to me, the addition of this number of change and new beginnings, it tells me, and then the 1 plus 5 is 6, and 6 means love. It's the number for love. And so some change, so there is, what I'm sensing here is that there is, love is here. There's love here. But you need to look onward and look onward beyond beyond the storm that you're in. Okay, so it may mean that you need to move on in order to find that, maybe because if it feels like nothing is happening, then maybe nothing is happening. But have you talked to him? Have you talked to this person? Because if you're having communications with them and how do they treat you when you're communicating with you, and so you kind of gotta, if they still think about you or not. So you haven't had any contact since March. Okay, I'm gonna say that tells me he's not thinking about you, and you need to move in this little boat that you're in. You need to move on and move and row yourself out of the storm and go look afar, take a detour, and watch and wait. Watch and wait, because glad times are coming. How about that? So glad times are coming in the future. And so that's what I'm getting here. If that makes any sense for you. Okay. Now we'll go on to so Kaz has a question. Forget PJ and move on. And we can do one other thing. I can do a dice roll, but I already kind of feel I know the answer to this question, and that answer is what I said. You should not waste any more energy on this person, and just now, if he happens to come back in your life in the future, well, that's good. But right now, he's not in your life, and he's probably not thinking about you either. So anyways. Okay, Kaz, I think I'm going to ask the question is, okay, so why do we put on YouTube while we're doing 2 other things? Okay, so how many cards do you want me to draw, Kaz? How many cards do you want me to draw? Or I'll just roll these dice and get a card number. So we are looking at 9, 10, 1 plus 4. We'll get 5 cards. 5 cards. 5 cards. We'll use 5 cards and ask why. Why, for Kaz, why do you put YouTube on when you're already doing 2 other things? You know, I'm like, I remember when, it was like a long time ago, 10 years ago or more, and it was before it was while I was still using flip phones, and then I bought a Kindle e-reader, and the next I bought a Kindle Fire, but I was having laptops and stuff like that, and I would be watching TV, watching YouTube, messing around with YouTube, and then playing games on another thing altogether. And so I'm gonna. Did I say? What did I say? Was that 4 questions? 4 cards. One is Mind Virus. So that was 9, 10, 11. Yeah, it was 4 cards. Mind Virus. That's what I'm interpreting this thing as, is a mind virus. But another card, one off the top, and then this card here. Why? Why do you do this? Why do you put YouTube on when you are doing 2 other things? Maybe you're doing it to go help out a friend, Kaz. And so we got like this internal battle going on, and a remote control that you're just flipping channels through, and because you took too much 25-hour power. So you're all hopped up on caffeine. You're playing with the remote. Flipping through the channels. You know, you got your taser. You're kind of fighting with you're wrestling with these things that are happening because your mind has been infected with the virus of ADD, with that attention deficit disorder, which is why your attention is split, because you've been affected by this virus that has caused you to have attention ADD in that moment, and you're just kind of fighting with maybe those other 2 things you're doing. You just don't want to do it. Instead, you just rather watch YouTube. How about that? That's what I get out of this. Now, however, Kaz, if you look at these cards and you see another story here, that's what, because that's my interpretation of these cards, but you might interpret these cards different. But I can see that you're all jacked up on the 25-hour power, which is causing a little bit of remote control anxiety. Flipping through them channels, fighting with yourself because you're infected with that virus of ADD. All right. So I had that other question that. Okay, these were you're responding. These are the questions. These are the cards. The cards were 25-hour power, energy drink, remote control, taser, and a virus. And I see this in this sense like a mind virus. Oh, and look, the next one is because you're just you're going on a trip. all these things going on, you're on a trip. How about that? And let's take a look at the Crosswords Oracle. See if it has anything. Why is Kaz doing too many things? Responding to text messages and watching YouTube, listening to this channel right now, and doing some other things. Speeding on autopilot and scattergunning. Yeah, there you go. Speeding on autopilot and scattergunning. Playing games. 3 plus 7, 10. 3, that's kind of a number. 7 is like this spirit number. They're both spirit numbers, like balancing between different aspects of spirituality. And 3 plus 7 together is 10, like starting a new thing. You got kind of like a cloak and dagger thing going on. Building forts out of napkins. And trying to flee enemies that you can't see, but you hear. That rat-ta-tat-ta-tat-ta-tat echo in the distance. Rat-ta-tat-ta-tat-ta-tat echoing in the different distance. On that trip, in the road, echoing. Hoping that that fort that you've built out of napkins will hold. Well, in there you get inspired. And you take a napkin off the wall and you start writing poetry, man. Running around with no destination. The map, you gotcha. Anyways, and here's some words, and I was just writing a story for you here. Hiding out in your napkin fort, writing poetry on the walls, listening to the echo of the rat-ta-tat-ta-tat in the background, with a pen in hand and your cloak pulled over you, this cloak of invisibility, this cloak of high adventure. Because when I look at this card right now, I see a guy on a boat in command of himself, raging through a sea, on an adventure to find something new. Poetry of sheeted cubby houses. Yeah. All right. Let's try that. Let's try that other question that I had constructed, which was, what does the hog do to amuse itself? What does the hog... What? No, you don't like that question? What does the hog do to amuse itself? What does the hog do to amuse itself? Well, before we begin, Kaz, why don't you write in the chat and tell me what the hog does to amuse itself? The poem? Well, I will do another poem, and I'll do another poem. But you tell me while I'm shuffling these cards and doing I'm going to see how many cards I'm going to be drawing here. And we have 10, 15, 6, 7, 18, 1, 9. Okay, so this is going to be a 9-card story. It's going to be a 9-card story. How come this pin won't write? 9 cards. And with the 9 cards, I'm going to tell a story with 9 cards about what the hog does to amuse itself. And while I'm writing that, maybe you can write in the comments in the chat what you think the hog does to amuse itself. And we'll just put this right here so you can see it. Okay, 9 cards. Let's move my my crystal ball back over here. All right. I just thought I would be on for like a half hour or so, interrupting my poem. Well, we got more poems here. I can use that deck for divination. I can use it for all the first card that popped out is anxiety. It's anxious. Hog's anxious because, you know, it's going to probably be fitting the pig emoji. Anyone? Yeah. All right. Okay. 9 cards. You got 1, and there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1 in the middle, 9. Okay. Oh, looks like this one was left out, so we got an extra card. So we start here with anxiety. The next card is lurking in the shadows. There's a menace. So the hog is lurking in the shadows. The hog is lurking in the shadows, looking through darkened windows. And we have this anxiety. I think this anxiety goes in a different part of the story. And okay, so what we got is there's a menace. So the hog is a menace. And a menace causing anxiety to the other hogs in the pen. But we got this blockchain coin. Well, yeah, of course, there's a lot of in the pen. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of it in the pen, and this is really taxing my ability to come up with stories right on the spot here. We have the deleter. So we got to form this story about what this pig is doing here. Virtual reality. So we got menace in the dark, anxiety, we've got S-coin, we have the deleter, we have the virtual reality headset. Oh, then there's this guy loading boxes. And uh-oh, the evil landlord is calling. And there is a whole lot of booze involved. And there's drugs involved. And a conspiracy. So what the hog is doing to amuse itself by being a menace in the dark. A menace in the dark. Writing, and so its owners, the other, the farmer tending the pig, the pen is stepping around, stepping in the it, crazy in the head because he's high on shrooms, because the shrooms are growing in the it. And he's been drinking. And that pig, that hog, is like a devil inside. That menace in the dark, that devil taunting the farmer. The farmer going crazy. He's loading in these boxes. He's unloading the boxes. He's loading the boxes. And it's like that game he played. He doesn't understand that there's something lurking in the dark. This hog is amusing itself, torturing the farmer, who is now anxious that something is going to happen. Something weird is going to happen in the dark. Something weird because that guy is all high on shrooms, mixing that stuff with booze. And he's coming up with all kinds of stories. All the story he's not coming up with, however, is that his hog is lurking in the dark and behaving like a devil. Playing in the pig shed. Yeah. And then somebody's coming up behind him and deleting all the evidence. And that hog is cunning like this devil, and deleting the evidence. How did I do with that story? I wasn't very good at it. I feel like I failed to answer that to write that story here in that present here. The devil is in the devil is in the S coin, the blockchain, Bane, Kane, throwing around the internet, and the landlord like a devil, smoking that cigar and laughing in your ear. Then we got this guy loading and unloading boxes in your mind. Loading and unloading boxes in your mind. And your mind is expanding beyond the devil, beyond the coin, the blockchain, Kane, Fane, saying, biting those nails in the dark, listening to that laugh. Because that's what you're hearing. High on mushroom tea. Well, that's just like a mini story. Anyways. And we got like, with that trip, being on a trip with the VR, lurking in the dark, and the conspiracies of the mind, all these new connections you're making in your head, being confused on the fly, and because you feel like something is missing. Something is missing in your mind. Something is missing. And what do we got in this card? There's other things in this card. Bitters. What's missing is that bitter taste in your mouth because you've been eating the mustache wax, mixing it up at the bar. All right. I'm starting to get a little tired here. I'm a little tired. I didn't drink water. So I'm going to do one more poem for Kaz. I'm going to put my real life tarot away. And we'll do one more poem. One more crossword oracle poem. Okay. One more poem for Kaz. This is a poem for Kaz. A poem for Kaz. A poem for Kaz. It's a poem for Kaz. 38, 3 plus 8 is 11. 11. 11, 11, something new. 111, make a wish. Something new's about to happen. Angel number 111. A poem for Kaz. Halt. 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 Stand still. There is a patrol outside your door. Stand still. You don't want to be seen. Stand still. Be invisible in the moment. There is a lantern. There is a lantern that burns. There's a lantern that burns with neither fuel nor wick. It burns on this light that sings like an opera. The lantern burns a light that sings like an opera. The lantern burns and casts a light that sings like an opera. A trio of noise, a hooting of an owl. The tax man is coming over the hill. Halt. Okay. I'm stopping it there. I want to thank everybody. Oh, I'm going to, I have this Mary Mother Oracle. I'm just going to read this one card for everybody and just leave things on a positive note. This deck doesn't shuffle very well. The cards were sticky, but I guess now they're not sticky anymore. So I'm going to ask Mary Mother for a word for us all, because yesterday was a day that some potentially bad things happened in the world. And yesterday, some bad things happened in the world. A lot of bad things happened. And so, Mother Mary, please give us a word of hope. A word of hope for this moment. And if I need to spell out those bad things that the United States launched, sent their B-52 bombers over to Iran and bombed their nuclear facilities, their nuclear centrifuge, and sent these big bunker buster bombs to try to destroy their nuclear capabilities. And that was the thing that happened. But those, because we don't really know what's going to happen out of this. And so, Mary Mother, we're asking for words of hope for this moment right now. Asking for words of hope for this moment right now. Okay. And this is the card. Visuals for that poem. Nightmare Before Christmas in Phantom of the Opera Tunnel, with the grim reaper approaching from the night field, Wizard of Oz, great visuals. Thank you. And so this is the Mary Mother card. And so it's kind of this ethereal spirit, some birds whispering hope into your ear. There's two of them. Lovebirds, flowers, roses. And what does it say here? Our Lady of Holy Fire. External sources of love and support may fail us. The soul possesses such loss by developing compassion for our humanity while seeking the unconditional support of spirit. You will transition from grief to gratitude even if you are in shock, in denial, or feel betrayed and heartbroken. With Mother Mary's support, your soul is powerful enough to process any betrayal and only grow in love, strength, and wisdom and compassion. And that's a really nice image. I like that. And I'm going to go with one more, ask for a message of hope from Spirit. A message of hope. A message of hope. A message of hope. Right here. That the Spirit brings. Let it be, Mother Mary, pray for me, and let it be. Yeah. To pray for joy for all the world. That we need to be reconciled. We need to reconcile with our brothers and sisters in this world. And the Spirit is of reconciliation and forgiveness, and to think thoughts of joy and to be thankful for things that you're and being joyful for. So, speaking of words of wisdom, yeah. And so that's what I got for you guys today. I'm going to come back on probably. Thank you, Sherry. So yeah, this is my first live on this channel. I have another channel, 999 Show, which I just ratcheted up to 1,000 subs about in February, I think it was. I'm at 1,200 subs on 999 Show and at 2,500 watch hours. But this here, Sherry, is my first live on this channel. Doing working out of my my real life tarot deck and some of the tools that I have created. And yes, and I do remember from Sherry and Cash and what was it? His channel, Cash and Crash. And so this is a deck. I made this a few years ago, and so this channel essentially is just going to be doing stuff like this. And my anyways, okay, you did, and I know that you did sub to this channel while we were listening in on the other live, and So some of my art that I've done, now this is some of my tarot art, and this is my own interpretation of the Three of Swords, some UFOs in the sky, and then this here, Sherry, is a painting of my moon, a interpretation of a moon card image. If you have this is one. This one I did in a paint off on 999 show, and then some other ones. This here's Hanged Man, and then this is not any tarot art, but this is from the 999 show. And anyways, I'm gonna call it a night because I'm in the Pacific, and it is probably 1:30 in the morning. Yeah, thank you very much, Sherry. I really appreciate that. Yeah. And so, yeah, this is my first live stream on this channel. I was a little nervous. But anyways, that's all I got. And I will be back. I will not be doing any lives on Monday on this channel or the other channel because Monday's my day off. But I'll be doing on 999 show. I'll be doing a live at 12:30 Pacific time with Alexis Milner, and we'll be talking about caregiving because I do caregiving in Oregon. I am you're in Canada. Yeah. I'm located in Oregon, and whereas you're the channel where where I met you on, he's out of you're Vancouver, BC. Oh, I've been to Vancouver once, I think. I went into Victoria. I'm on the Oregon coast is where I'm located really close to the Oregon coast. So and not in between towns. In between towns, kind of in unincorporated areas. And anyways, so about I don't know. Anywhere, it depends on traffic. It could be an hour away from the coast, or it could be like 20 minutes away from the coast. Yes, you make day. Yeah. Seaside. I'm going to Seaside for a family reunion next week. You can ask a question, Dave, but I'm just about ready to wrap things up here. But so Sherry, yeah. I have I do caregiving for my mother who's 85, and so I'm her caregiver, and I just do YouTube to occupy some, anyways. Thank you. What does Well, I don't know that I can really answer that question because ethically Dave, when that's you're asking me to go into somebody else's energy and to know what they would to think about you, and I'm not sure that this person hasn't given me permission to do that, and so I don't necessarily feel comfortable doing that, but maybe now, I mean, do you, what kind of, Dave, what kind of contact do you have with this person already? If you just tell me about this, I can reason this out for you. But if you want to know if you have a future with him, that all depends on this person. If you're not communicating right now, um, that hmm. I would my recommendation for you, because this person broke your heart. My recommendation, just as a human being from one person to another, is they broke your heart, and so it's kind of maybe need to move on as the best as possible. Yeah, yeah, and so Day, it's when I was like in my mid 20s and I had a bad broken heart and I spent too many years obsessing over that person, and it never nothing ever came of it, of my spinning and sowing and reaping and just obsessing over this person who broke my heart. They I the person that she ended up marrying somebody else, and she didn't get married to me. And so in this situation, this is not necessarily a question that I'm just speaking just from my own experience a day, that it would be best for you to not think about this person anymore. Work on healing within yourself and becoming whole with yourself. And then, but you know what, Day, I'm going to draw one of these cards for you from this Mary Mother Oracle card, and I will draw one of these cards for you. And for you. And this card is for you. This card is for you, Day. It's not for anyone else. It's not for Omar. It's for you. This message is for you. What message? And this is the message here. And there's two cards. There's more than one card. Three cards popped out. This one's your message. To outgrow that which you once held fast is a hallmark of spiritual progress. There is wisdom in honoring the need to challenge yourself and expand your horizons. The heart is ready to aspire and toil towards a new vision. There is no need to concern yourself with how to manifest it. Just be yourself now in the moment, and to dedicate yourself step by step in moving towards it, because all else is held in grace. And so, in a sense, that there is, if we're looking at this image here, and this message here is for you. And just look at this image here for a little bit and see what does it say to you. And imagine yourself with a different vision than the one that you had yesterday, and a different vision than the one that you have right now. Just imagine yourself being happy and being content with your life. And hold on to that vision and work on making it real for you. Now, maybe this involves, I think that in this point, Dave, you need to be complete with yourself right now. So in a sense, you're taking a look at yourself as this is you, and this is you. And you are have the new vision of yourself of who you really want to be. And it is like a little seed within you. It's like a seed within you, and you are nurturing that seed. And you so the thing is that you can do one of two things. You can let this seed of yourself go away, or you can make this new vision of yourself come into fruition to become this person, to become you. Does that make any sense? So, of looking, and you have this, the imagining of yourself as someone who is happy or content with yourself, with who you are, who you were created to be, who your parents created you to be, who Spirit created you to be. And you take this vision that you have of yourself and you spin it into a new vision. And that new vision will one day be wrapped up into this vision. And you become into a place of integration, of wholeness, of oneness. Three things become one. So it's like a balancing of three things, of a balancing of your body, of your mind, and of your spirit. Balancing them all together and integrating themselves into a whole. Okay, that's all I got. I wasn't planning on doing serious divination today, but I guess it happened. I did start with the usual prayers, and yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. And so I'm gonna be back with my other channel, 999 Show, at 12:30 Pacific time, and I'm having Alexis Milner on, good friend of mine. She was on last week, and we'll be talking about caregiving. I think she's in North Carolina, and I'm in Oregon, and we'll be talking about caregiving. It being the caregiving and so forth, and then also that's tomorrow. Today's like my father. Anyways, yes, Dave, you can ask another question. Okay, when you want one, so you want? Did you want a question too, Sherry? How about we do those two more questions? I'm getting kind of tired, but I think I can do that. What could happen in your love life? Okay. What could happen in Dave's love life? I mean, the sky's the limit. All things. You could end up married. You could have lots of children. You could. I see dance. Having a dance You should learn how to dance. If you don't know how to dance, you should learn how to dance. Everybody should learn how to dance. If you're having trouble meeting people, learn how to dance. You know, when I think about this of learning how to dance and learn how to dance like couples dancing in dance halls where there are not intoxicants involved. Not dance at a bar. Don't learn how you can do that, but if you're looking to meet somebody, learn how learn how to do ballroom dance. Learn how to do folk dancing. Learn how to dance. If you have dance in your culture, dancing. Now, some cultures and religions don't really allow that, but if you if your culture allows dancing, learn how to dance. And so I'm going to ask my crossword at Oracle for you today. And the question is, what could your love life look like? I tell you what, Day. Well, no, I'm just going to. This is the card I'm going to choose for you right here. 12. 1, 2. Dance like Wednesday Adams. Yeah. 12. 1, 2. 12. 1 is new beginnings. The number 1 means new beginnings. It is like in tarot, the first card, not first card, is the Magician, and you have all these all the tools that you need in order to start this journey. You have. And what could your love life be like? And number 2 is about duality. It's about the pairing of opposites. It's about balance and balancing. And so the combination of this 1 and 2 adds up to 3. And then, as like we showed you before, you have these 3 things. You start with the vision, and then you have the nurturing of that vision. And you nurture that vision and you grow it. You grow it into, so it becomes its own person, and then you integrate all of that together. You integrate that whole vision together within yourself. And that's kind of what the number 3 means. There are a lot of different meanings, but this is what is coming to me right now about the number 3. So think of maybe in your future with your future love that, for one, you need to be awake in it. You need to be awake in that spot. Your eyes need to be open. Your eyes need to be open. You need to be awake. Because, and you also need to be wise like an owl. And owls, they are awake. They have great night vision. They are a majestic bird, and they can, in this sense, owls are signify wisdom and a strength. And an owl is a big bird. I mean, an owl could swoop down and pick up a cat, just like a hawk. I mean, they have the strength like a hawk. Owls are a very strong bird. Now, not all of them. Some of them are a little tiny. Some of them are fast. But owls, the spirit animal of owl. You want to think of that. The spirit animal of owl. You need to be awake, because this other word is this cargo and this baggage. So you need to really examine yourself, and what is it that you're carrying around with you that maybe is weighing you down, that is maybe that in they also have to think about those echoes of the past, because those echoes of the past have a way of coming back and haunting you in the present. So that's kind of what your love need, and thinking of what you think of what to look for in the future is what to in nurturing within yourself is to let go of some of your old baggage, because that that stuff that we hold on to sometimes is toxic. And that, so let's say, you meet some guy and he reminds you of the last guy who broke your heart. And he's got characteristics that are like it, but that but this person is a new person, and there's nothing to say that this new person is going to break your heart. But because you hold all this extra feelings and emotions that you haven't really gotten let go of, you're on this boat and you haven't cast it overboard, that cargo that you don't need. But maybe this is cargo. Well, and you have that cargo, and it can poison the next relationship. That's kind of what I got. That's what I'm getting here. I hope that makes sense. And so, Sherry, I'm kind of tired. Would that be okay if you came on the next time or yeah. So tomorrow, Sunday evening is family time. Yeah. Yeah, so the next time I will schedule the live in advance, and with like at least a couple hours of advance warning. Tomorrow after I put my mom tomorrow night, Sunday night after I put my mother to bed. How about that? All right. Thank you guys very much. Thank you, Sherry, for being a new subscriber to my channel, and thank you everyone else who supported my very first live on this new channel. And I am grateful for everyone here today. And so with that, I'm gonna bid everyone a farewell, and we'll see you the next time. Thank you. Bye bye.